Welcome to Café, Cackle. Oh, good grief.
So, in a previous Cackle episode, you had mentioned being sexually harassed in the workplace starting in 1983, and I started in 1984, and I would think by 1985 I'd been cornered in the freezers and coolers and break rooms and groped and grabbed, and I had my ass slapped more times than I can even remember.
Absolutely.
And so it sounds like you had similar experiences in your work life.
You know, I really did, Jackie, and how I handled that back then, of course, this is before any training or anything happened, but I just persevered through it, or I'd make a joke, or I'd say, you know, if you're going to hit me on the rear end, I'm going to slap you back type of thing, you know, and it's just, I see this changing so much, and because of what we went through as women, I think that's a testament to how women are today and what more boundaries and more expectations of how they're treated in the workplace have come about. I mean, I think of one particular time when I was breastfeeding, and I had to literally go into the tank farm where they house chemicals and rebuild my breast pump from O-rings I got out of the maintenance shack. And, you know, because, you know, it's painful. Yeah. So I was going to get my job done and still, you know.
Yeah, you weren't going to go
care
home.
of myself.
You were going to take care of yourself
Exactly.
and get the job
done.
Yeah,
I had a job to do.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. I think that what we went through in the workforce and the women before us, right?
Right.
I mean, there was, we were just on the tail end in the 80s, just on the tail end of women having to wear skirts and heels to work, right? And those kinds of restrictions. And my sister has a lovely story from the 70s of working at a canning factory, and her equipment broke down. And so she fixed it because the maintenance person didn't come around, and she's like, I think I know what's wrong with this. She's always had a skill for that. And so she went and fixed her own equipment. And so when they showed up to fix it, she's like, well, it kind of sounded like this, so I just dug around and fixed it. So she got hired as a maintenance person, and she was horribly harassed. And it was a very hostile work environment because the men were saying, how dare you take this good paying job? Because back then it was like $15, $16 an hour, but minimum wage was $3.
Yes.
So she suddenly had this awesome job, and the men that were in her department would say, you shouldn't have taken this job. A man needs it to support their family. But what they didn't realize is that my sister was a single mom and trying to support her family.
Yeah.
So I think we've seen a lot of really good shifts like that, but I think it's true that, you know, with you and with and we persevered through the harassment and the hostile work environments, and we were going to get our job done and no one was going to stop us, and we ended up in managerial positions because of it. And then we were able to create a better work environment because we took control, stayed with it, and we ended up in positions of power.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So, ladies, today, if you're going through anything, you know, there's hope. Persevere. Report. Contact HR. Don't settle for it.
Yeah, I would completely agree. We are past the time of drawing a line in the sand. The line in the sand was drawn in the 80s. If you're experiencing these things, then something needs to be done about it. And you should not feel like because you're the only woman working in the office, you can't report it because it'll make you seem weak, or they'll all team up against you, whatever it may be. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, boy, the penalties for retaliating against someone who reports any type of harassment or discriminatory behavior is steep. You employers, if you're allowing that to go on, they are putting their company at risk is what they're doing. That's got to stop.
And I will want to say in our Cafe Cackle, cheers, because the man that assaulted me finally got fired from his job. He's in his 60s. He finally got fired for inappropriate behavior in the workplace.
Cheers to that.
We will win. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but we are unstoppable.
Absolutely. I love that.
Jackie Shaw Ibrod presents a Go Entertainment production. You can learn more at administratorsunite.com.
Come back for more awesome conversations.
Absolutely.